which actually leads into the second thing, which is affirmations. Um, Again, people, this is vague, but I want to clarify. You literally say the words of, whatever it is. You're beautiful. You're talented. You're smart. And I don't believe in any of the ships where you believe that women should just be pretty and girly and wonderful and all that, or the other end of the spectrum where they have to think only. A woman is a whole thing, but you have to say affirmations that build a woman up in many ways, whether it's the way she looks, the way she acts, the way she performs, the way she learns, all these kinds of things. And it has to be on a consistent basis. And affirmations are important in the sense that you don't just tell a person or tell a young woman, you're great, you're this, you're that. You also teach them to do that for other people and to choose people who will have that two-way relationship, who affirm them and who they can affirm. And again, this also encourages them to choose good company, because when you come around a person who doesn't do this, and you come from an environment where you're encouraged, just like you say, you encourage your daughter, you're encouraged, you're supported, people say good things, they speak life to you, and this person is negative and critical and all these other things, it's very easy to see that, oh well, no, this is not somebody I should be around, because they're doing the exact opposite of what they should be doing. They're attacking me, they're making my confidence level go down, and they're attacking my self-esteem. So affirmations are actually very, very important from a very young age.
Well, one thing people should know that they may not know, and I brag about this on you but a lot because you don't bring it up very much, but I love to, is that you were actually a former Mrs. Botswana. What year did you win the competition?
2012.
2012. That's what I thought it was. I just want to make sure I got it right. And I imagine that it took some confidence and positive affirmations to even believe that you would be capable of trying to achieve something like that, right? Where did your own sort of training and self confidence kind of come into play when it came to achieving the things that you've done in your life?
One of I can name three things. One of it was I did sports. I was exposed to a lot of different things, and my parents encouraged me to do the things that I excelled in, and I did excel very much in sports. The second thing was I did go to modeling and grooming school, which again, it builds your confidence, teaches you about posture, how to speak properly, sit properly, all these other things. Now, you don't have to do it, but there's a difference between knowing how to do something and doing it, and just not doing the right thing because you have no idea what it is. And then the third thing is I have wonderful women in my life. And my mother's obviously the one that comes number one in the list, and aunts, cousins, and of course, men too. My dad is a wonderful role model, and has always been supportive. So I believe that it's that combination, and I've tried to recreate that for my own daughter and any other young woman that I've come across.
Well, in the African American community, it is interesting because now I know you grew up in Africa, but you've lived in America for a very long time, and a lot of us, myself included, are I say us, but are concerned about the fact that a lot of these girls are growing up and they don't have fathers in their lives. How important do you think it is to have that positive male role model when it comes to confidence and affirmation and things like that?
I think it's just as important as having a mother. Um, I have not had the experience, obviously, of growing up without either of my parents, but I would never try to say either one was more important than the other. They both played a very significant role in my life. My father taught me a sense of respect for myself and for authority. My mother taught me a lot of love, and she was a good role model. She loved herself, she respected herself, she exercised modesty. And again, I was learning from both of my parents. My father is a person who has built a significant amount of wealth, and again, it was from the ground up. He taught me discipline, focus. So I think it's very, very important. Even if you try to instill things in children, you have to actually model them. And I call it luck. I really got lucky in terms of when God gave out parents. I got lucky, and I got some really good ones. And I think both are very important. I also think that what happens, and I think you and I spoke about this extensively, what happens to a child, or at least a girl child, who doesn't have a male role model, a strong one and a good role model. And I mean a man present in the home, not an uncle who visits you 3 times a year. I'm talking about consistently being there. Is it teaches you how to have relationships, how to overcome conflict. It also teaches you how a man can love you the right way without being attracted to your body. That you You're worthy of being listened to, being comforted, being hugged, kissed, all these other things that don't have a sexual connotation to them. And unfortunately, what I see is when males are absent in girls' lives, they only see them in a sexual way, or maybe as a way of getting money or something like that. And that love, affection, and attention isn't there.
Mm, that's so interesting. Well, I'll say as a father myself, I become a little bit concerned when I see so many people that seem to almost act like the fathers don't matter at all, or that the male role models that they don't need that. And I remember thinking to myself, I can't imagine life without my mother. And so if I were raised just with my dad and only around men, and only saw a woman once a week or something like that, my whole perspective of women, my whole perception would be totally different. I would probably only know women as either the thing that I never had that I long to have, my missing mother, or I would maybe, unfortunately, right, if I'm around certain kinds of men, you might be tempted to see women as people you go to when you want sex, right? And that's kind of what you see sometimes. And so I think that that balance is important. So maybe those male role models, if the father can't be there, it's someone that's there consistently. If that person's available, it seems that that would be a good way to go.